Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, you're coming with us on a bit of a virtual trip.
That's right. We're heading to the incredible Dolomites.
Exactly, those amazing mountains up in northern Italy. You know, the ones with the huge dramatic peaks and these incredibly deep valleys. Just stunning.
Truly breathtaking. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, actually.
Right. And we've gathered quite a bit of information for you. We looked at experiences from longer Italy trips, some fun facts, general background, a specific 2-week itinerary that includes the Dolomites.
And also the official UNESCO reasoning for its status.
Yeah, all that. So our mission today is basically to give you the inside scoop, the absolute must-see spots, the food you have to try, a little bit of the history.
How to actually get around, which is important there, and a realistic look at daily costs.
So yeah, let's dive into the allure of these mountains.
Well, what's immediately captivating, I think, is how that sheer beauty connects with some really significant geology.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, UNESCO highlights not just the sublime, colorful landscapes that people have loved for ages,
Right.
but also how they give us this unique window into the Earth's past. We're talking about things called Mesozoic carbonate platforms.
Okay, sounds technical but important. We'll circle back to that. But first, if you're there, surrounded by all this amazing scenery, food, what should you be eating?
Yes. Well, the info we have doesn't list specific restaurants, eat at Luigi's, but...
Right, it's more general.
Exactly. But looking at the nearby regions like Veneto and Trentino Alto Adige, you can expect really hearty, sort of mountain-style food.
Okay, hearty sounds good up in the mountains. What about classic Italian stuff? Pasta?
Oh, absolutely. Italy has, over 350 kinds of pasta, so you'll definitely find regional specialties. Keep an eye out for fresh egg pasta. That's often a highlight.
Fresh pasta. And pizza. I know it's from Naples, but surely.
Oh, for sure. Pizza is everywhere. It's a national love affair. Look for places with wood-fired ovens. Simple ingredients, but top quality. That's the key.
Yeah, you can't beat that. Makes you want to slice right now, doesn't it?
Ha! It does. And for dessert, gelato. It's a must.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, gelato originally comes from Florence, so the quality is usually fantastic across Italy, including up north. It's often made fresh, daily, all-natural ingredients.
And less fat than ice cream, right?
Exactly. Less fat, more flavor intensity. Look for the artisanal places.
Good tip. Anything else sweet?
Tiramisu, that classic pick-me-up dessert. It actually originated in Treviso in the Veneto region, so pretty close to the Dolomites. You'll likely find it on menus.
Perfect. And to drink? Wine seems obvious in Italy.
Definitely. Veneto, right next door, is a major wine region. It's quite interesting that the average Italian consumes a fair bit of wine each year, so expect good local options.
Salute to that. Okay, so you're well-fed, enjoying the local flavors. What about the sights? What are the absolute must-sees?
The landscape itself is the main event. It's just dramatic. Think vertical rock walls, like sheer cliffs just dropping away. And tons of valleys, but they're really narrow, deep, and long. UNESCO talks about steeples, pinnacles, rock walls. It creates this incredibly diverse and, frankly, spectacular scenery.
Wow. It sounds almost unreal, like something out of a movie.
It kind of does have that feel, and it's not just pretty, it's geologically significant, too. You've got features left by glaciers and these things called karst systems.
Karst? What's that?
It's basically landscapes formed when water dissolves certain types of rock, like limestone. It can create caves, sinkholes, really unique surface and underground features.
Oh. Okay.
And the Dolomites are also super important for understanding ancient marine life. They preserve these old underwater structures, kind of like coral reefs from millions of years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they hold clues about how life recovered after a massive extinction event way back in the Mesozoic era.
So these beautiful mountains are also like a history book of the planet.
Precisely. And the UNESCO site isn't just one continuous park, it's actually 9 different areas, each showing off a slightly different facet of this incredible landscape.
Okay, 9 areas. And for people who want to get out in it, hike around.
Well, the material doesn't list specific trails, like Trail X is 5 miles, but it heavily implies hiking is a major activity. It's a mountain region, after all.
Makes sense.
But, and this is important, you need to be aware it's a dynamic environment. Landslides, avalanches, they can happen. So, check conditions, be prepared, be cautious.
Definitely good advice for any mountain area. Let's talk a bit more about why they're so important, this UNESCO status.
Right. So UNESCO recognized them for 2 main things. That exceptional natural beauty we've been talking about.
The sublime, monumental, colorful stuff.
Exactly. And also their international importance for geomorphology. That's the study of how landscapes form. These mountains tell a really significant story about Earth processes.
And they've drawn people in for a long time.
For centuries. Attracting travelers, inspiring artists, prompting scientific study. There's a long history of human interaction with these peaks.
So a deep cultural connection as well as the geological side.
Absolutely. That geological record, especially of those ancient carbonate platforms, is world-class.
Okay, so you've decided you have to go. You want to see these vertical walls and maybe find some great gelato. How do you actually get around?
Well, the general consensus seems to be that renting a car is probably your best bet for really exploring the Dolomites properly.
Flexibility, right? Getting to trailheads or viewpoints.
Exactly. It just gives you that freedom to move around at your own pace and reach places that might be harder to get to otherwise.
But what if driving in the mountains isn't really your thing, or you're coming from further away?
Italy does have a very good train and bus network. You can definitely use it to reach gateway cities near the Dolomites. Places like Venice or Bolzano are quite accessible.
And from there?
From there, you'd likely need to look into more local bus services or perhaps specific shuttles to get deeper into the mountain areas. The info we reviewed was a bit less detailed on the specifics of transport within the Dolomites themselves, beyond recommending a car.
Gotcha. And there was a really crucial tip about trains in Italy generally, wasn't there?
Oh, yes. Super important. If you buy a paper train ticket, like from a machine or a ticket office, you absolutely must validate it before you board.
Validate. How?
There are usually small machines, often green or yellow, at the entrance to the platforms. You just stick your ticket in, it stamps the time and date. If you don't do it, and an inspector checks,
Fines?
yeah, potentially hefty fines. It proves you're using the ticket for that specific journey. But tickets bought online or on an app usually don't need physical validation. They're already timed.
Okay, that's a lifesaver tip right there. Definitely remember that one if you're taking the train.
Crucial piece of practical knowledge for Italy travel.
So let's talk money. What kind of daily budget should you think about for a trip to the Dolomites?
Right, costs. Well, accommodation is going to vary quite a bit. Depends on if you want a fancy hotel, a cozy guest house, maybe a refugio up in the mountains.
Refugio, like a mountain hut.
Yeah, sometimes. And also where in the Dolomites you stay. Some valleys or towns might be pricier than others, and definitely season matters.
Peak season is more expensive, I assume.
Generally, yes. So booking ahead is almost always a good idea, especially for summer or ski season.
Makes sense. What about food costs day to day?
Probably looking at costs similar to other tourist spots in northern Italy. You can manage your budget, though. Eating at local trattorias, those smaller, often family-run places, is usually cheaper than more formal restaurants.
Good tip.
And for lunch, grabbing a slice of pizza al taglio, pizza by the slice, or maybe some local street food like supply, if you find it, can save money.
And gelato is affordable, right?
Relatively speaking, yes. It's an affordable and delicious treat. Can't go wrong there.
So food is manageable. What about transport costs?
If you rent that car, you need to budget for the rental fee itself, obviously. Plus, fuel and gas can be quite expensive in Italy.
Good point.
Also tolls, especially if you use the autostrada highways, and parking fees, which can add up in popular spots.
And if you use public transport,
Then you'll have the costs of train tickets to get near the region, and then bus fares within it, depending on how much you move around.
okay. Any other costs to factor in? Activities.
Yeah, think about things like lift passes. Cable cars and share lifts are common for accessing higher areas, viewpoints, or trailheads, and they aren't usually free.
Right.
Also, if you decide to take any guided hikes or tours, or if there are specific natural parks or museums with entrance fees, you'll need to account for those too.
So planning is key to managing the budget.
Definitely. Doing a bit of research on your specific plans helps avoid surprises.
Okay, so putting it all together, the amazing views, the food, the logistics. What's your detailed advice? What should you actually do when you're there?
Number one, I'd say, is just slow down and absorb the views. Seriously, find a good viewpoint, maybe pack a snack, and just look. Let the scale and the beauty of those peaks and valleys sink in. It's really something.
I like that.
Kind of meditative.
It really can be. Then definitely explore the variety. Don't just stay in one spot. Whether you're driving or hiking, try to see different valleys, different massives. The landscape changes quite a bit across those 9 UNESCO zones.
So embrace the diversity.
Exactly. But if you are hiking, again, plan carefully. Check trail conditions, know your limits, have the right gear. Safety first in the mountains.
Always. And you mentioned the geology earlier.
Yes. Take a moment to actually think about it. When you're looking at those incredible rock formations, remember you're seeing millions of years of Earth's history ancient reefs, it adds a whole other layer to the appreciation.
Connects you to something bigger.
It really does. Then the practical side, definitely plan your transport. If you've got a car, maybe map out some routes, look into parking situations in towns or at trailheads beforehand. Avoid getting stressed about logistics.
Right. And if you're relying on public transport, get familiar with the bus schedules, figure out how to connect between the places you want to visit.
And what about the time of year? You mentioned July.
July is mentioned as a fine time, likely good weather for hiking, but mountain weather is notoriously fickle, right? It can change fast. So pack layers, be ready for sun, wind, rain, maybe even cooler temps, especially at altitude.
Good advice. Layers are key. And what about combining it with other places?
Oh, definitely consider it. You're relatively close to amazing cities like Venice or Verona. They're usually easy to reach by train from the gateways to the Dolomites. It makes for a great contrast, the mountains one day, Renaissance art, or canals the next.
That sounds like an incredible trip. So, to wrap this up.
Well, the Dolomites are just this unique blend, aren't they? Jaw-dropping natural beauty combined with really significant geological history. It makes them an incredibly compelling place to visit.
It does require a bit of planning, though.
It does, especially getting around within the region itself. But the payoff, actually experiencing those sublime, monumental landscapes, it's huge. Just remember the potential costs and, really importantly, be respectful of the environment. It's a precious place.
Absolutely. And if this deep dive has whetted your appetite, and how could it not, where should you go for more?
For really specific info, like detailed trail maps, opening times for lifts, accommodation listings, local events, you'll want to check out the official tourism websites for the specific Dolomite regions like Trentino or South Tyrol to Adige or Veneto. Good travel guides help too.
So we've given you the foundation, the inspiration maybe.
But the details of your perfect Dolomite adventure are out there waiting for you to discover them.
A great way to put it. And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Just think about those words used to describe them. Sublime, monumental, and colorful. As you consider going, or even just look at pictures, hold on to that sense of wonder. Maybe your own exploration, whenever it happens, will be filled with that same awe and a real appreciation for just how amazing our planet is.
you.